Good afternoon, Hot Springs. We're outside City Hall where in just a few moments Cliff Jackson's going to deliver the last of the petitions to hopefully stop the forced annexation of Garland County into Hot Springs. But that's not the big story here today. The big story is Cliff's going to request a Freedom of Information Act to hopefully uncover some more details about what's happening and why these signatures keep being discontinued.
I don't know why they keep these doors locked, like we're gonna invade. I'm not gonna invade.
Oh, thanks for that.
Hey man, how are you?
Come on in.
Okay, thanks. I disavow it. What are you doing, man?
Good, good.
I'm over pneumonia, so I can shake hands with you now without doing term warfare.
What's the cameras y'all here contained in more petitions, I guess?
I've got about 40 more. If you could just quickly make me a copy and I'll take them back, or take a copy, just 4 of them to go with what you're returning to me.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
This is,
petitions, yes, sir.
now these are what? Oh, this is what we turned in Friday.
Yes, sir.
And these are the responses to my FOIA,
Yes.
and that goes back to 2000,
This goes back to 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
I actually asked back to 2000.
The 2000 is, we keep the certifications, not the petitions themselves.
Oh, you don't keep them for that long?
Yeah, once they're replaced by a new director, like 2012 is current as we have.
Do we have any members of the board who turned in petitions in 2010?
10?
Yeah.
I'd have to look, I'm not sure.
See, that's what I'm primarily interested in.
2010?
Or 2008. When were the present directors first elected?
The present ones?
Yeah. So that makes 1,640 approximately signatures we turned in. 16, we were, according to them, 471 deficient. So that's substantially more than 3 times.
So Cliff, exactly what went on in the Sentinel Record?
We placed another ad spotlighting Reverend W.L. Robinson and the slight imperfection that he had in his signature line, and it will run next Sunday, 2 days before the city board has its board meeting to consider annexation vote.
And what happened right across the street at City Hall earlier?
I delivered some additional petitions, not many, 40, but that brings the total 1,640 to supplement this 471 they claim we have deficient. Of course, we asked that 288 be added back in, and I also picked up the results, the response to my FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request for the petition submitted in support of their candidacy by all members of the city board and mayoral candidates. I asked back to year 2000. The city claims they have only the petitions back to 2010, so I have them here. And what am I going to do with them? I'm going to apply the same standards that the city applies to their own citizens. This perfect standard. They better be perfect, or I'm going to note that, and we're going to see if maybe we might have some city directors serving illegally.
So that's what's next for you?
That's one of the things that's next. Other things are in my head.
Exactly. So you have personal insight on board members' petitions
Right. Each
Right.
board member, in order to be put on the ballot for city director, has to have a petition drive with 100 registered voters' signatures in order to qualify to go on the ballot. So I went through that myself in this past October.
And what were you told about the signature grading process?
Well, one of the questions that I actually called and asked the city clerk was, how do I know if they're signing their name correctly and how it's printed on the voter registration? And I was told at that time that that was not one of the things that they used in determining the validity. This whole idea of a middle initial or lack of one or how you signed your name wasn't an issue there.
So we're looking at two separate grading.
I cannot account for the change. That's one of the big questions that we have. And while this originally started out as in just opposition to annexation, it's become a much bigger issue when registered voters' signatures are not accepted. And we need to know for the future, and we need to get this issue settled. This is a basic American right to petition our government, and all aspects of this need to be covered clearly under the policies.
And you've done something about that.
I have done something about that. I've requested that the city board adopt a petition verification process that mirrors the Arkansas state statute.
So Renee Westfall says this has turned into a fight against something other than annexation.
Yes, it is a voting rights issue. It's a right to petition issue. As your audience probably knows, the right to petition is a constitutional right that is found in the First Amendment. The right to vote is a fundamental constitutional right. The Supreme Court uses that term, fundamental right. Now, what that means is for the government, including the city, to breach that right, to abridge that right, they have to have a compelling state interest. The only interest the state has given us, the city has given us, for applying this exacting standard is that we've always done it this way. Well, that's not good enough for violating the civil rights and the constitutional rights of its own citizens. And in fact, people have asked me, why did you ask the city manager to resign? I simply ask him because the buck has to stop somewhere. He is the person with a degree in city planning. He is an attorney. He should know better. He should know what the Constitution says. And instead of having his city clerk apply standards that were designed to abridge these rights, instead of going from 20% rejection rate when the city hall was voted on to a 43% rate on my enclave, he should have told them to lean over backwards to approve these signatures. And when you don't do that, you subject the city to excessive legal liability.
Exactly.
We're celebrating our 50th year at John's Honda. Get $300 in bonus bucks on Honda 2016 TRX 420 FM1 or 2016 TRX 500 FM1 and $500 accessory bonus on 2016 side-by-side 1000 M3. Also get Honda's special 2.99% financing on Honda's ATV and side-by-side models. John's Honda in Hot Springs, proudly owned by the Barnett family since 1967.
Welcome to Balearte.
Valentine Dinner Special. Tomato basil soup with crostini ladyfingers or petite strawberry Valentino salad. Salmon frambroge topped with mixed berry sauce served with risotto and vegetable medley. Basil chicken breast sautéed in basil cream sauce served over capellini. Chapino, a medley of fresh seafood over risotto topped with 1/2 lobster tail. Romeo and Juliet, 6-ounce filet mignon topped with brandy cream sauce served with a broiled 9-ounce lobster tail. Famous homemade tiramisu served with chocolate dipped strawberry or chocolate fudge cake with raspberry sauce. Balearte Italiano Ristorante, 719 Central Avenue.